Another message came in stating, "Hi RJ, I'm looking for alternatives to voting for the major parties. I see that you are running for the Queensland Senate, however," and it states about I have a lot of policies and examples related to New South Wales. "Have I only recently moved to Queensland? Do I have any policies specific to Brisbane? I am all for restoring the Commonwealth and returning to a more constitutionally based system of governance. And I'd also like to know my particular stance on immigration. I'll do immigration as a separate video." And the person also says, particularly on the bulk importation of Muslims, that can be covered in immigration video. So, in relation to my website, I do have a personal website which is rjmartin.com, and it does have a policies page uh, which is rjmartin.com/policies. So I've had that web page for a number of years because I did used to live in New South Wales and I have ran in elections as an independent candidate before. And to save rewriting everything every election, then uh, it also shows consistency. But I guess you can say I've recycled my own policies, and the website is being updated over time. To answer the question, have I recently moved to Queensland from New South Wales? Uh, the answer is sort of. I have been in Queensland for nearly 3 years, and I would have been born in Queensland if it wasn't for government corruption. I know that sounds a bit weird, but it is what it is. So my parents used to operate a business in Queensland, and it was, I guess you can say, back in the bad old days. Everything's got good and bad points, but it was days of certain government corruption and police corruption, and unfortunately, my parents were victims of that, including with police demanding bribes, and my parents used to know a lot of ministers, that kind of thing, and unfortunately, they had to flee the state literally for their lives, if you want to call it like that. And then later on, they appeared as Crown witnesses for the Fitzgerald inquiry, which was 1988, 89, something like that. I only found out about that information probably when I was about 13 years old, and that was another reason why I got into politics. So I don't even like politics, as in, people just whinging, complaining about other parties, even if they got good policies, just because that came from their side, not our side, that kind of thing. And also that, in big political parties, that and most small ones, that if someone has a really bad idea and they're from your party, you have to support that policy no matter what, even though it's a really stupid policy. And as I said, the opposite as well. If other people come up with a really good policy, that people badmouth it and say it's so terrible just because their own side didn't come up with it. So we're not like that at GAP, and I'm not like that myself. So that's a great thing about GAP, and also all of our policies, rules, regulations, etc., are to follow the Constitution and are bound by the Constitution, as all laws should be within Australia and every other place with a Constitution. That's the whole point of it. So, like I said, I moved here probably 2.5 years ago, nearly 3 years ago, something like that. And do I have any policies specific to Brisbane? I'm happy to hear about people's specific policies, ideas, and whatnot. But if you're asking particularly about Brisbane, then perhaps you are really talking about state issues. Perhaps not. If you be more specific, then I can be more specific as well. Because, of course, there's certain federal issues that can apply to Brisbane, but it's not specifically about Brisbane, if that makes sense. And I'm glad you're all in favour of restoring the Commonwealth, and that's what we should do, and restoring the Constitution, and that will do for that answer. And like I said, I'll combine questions such as about the immigration into an immigration video.